Welcome guys to another Peripheral recap and review, and today we're doing the final episode. Before we get to that absolutely brilliant ending, and not to mention the after credit scene, which we're going to give you our thoughts on
I think they're Marvel.
Let's get straight to the recap. We start this epic finale off with a short flashback of Flynn and Connor as they discuss the options of rebooting, something we're going to touch on in a little moment. We then go to Tommy, who then realises that Pickett is still alive, but that doesn't stop him from blaming the attack on our old friend Bob the Butcher.
He did. Shot him dead.
We then cut to Lobia, who offers a little bit of an alliance, but unfortunately she can't help Flynn and a dying mom.
Nuland meets with Ash, and here we realise that not only is Ash a backstabbing traitor with the desire to kill Zuboff over a breach of etiquette, but Nuland has the power to bring forth the jackpot in Flynn's world. We then finally figure out where Alita is, with a hand with no thumb, as we get this little explanation that basically Alita blames thumbs for all the world's problems. Wilf syncs with Flynn and basically declares his love, and a thumbless hand signifies Alita's whereabouts and leads us to the return of young Alita, who is in fact a peripheral doing the dirty work for Alita and her crew.
We then get to an epic scene where Jasper makes a big power move, and although he regrets it, he leads Mr. Mullet and his friends to catch a ride with the midnight train. Lobia and Flynn make a new deal and gives Flynn the lowdown on how to get a new stub for the upcoming reboot. She quickly takes down a janitor, finds a pocket watch, and then continues to take on peripheral guards in a Knights of the Round Table setting, who are all controlled by Nuland. Flynn finds the location of Nuland, covers her tracks, and then we end the episode with one final trick shot from our man Connor. Now, before we talk about that infamous after credit scene, Steve, let's talk about the not so dead elephant in the room, which is Flynn.
She's not dead, is she? Obviously, I love the fact they're setting up this thing. Lobia speaks to, well, the way they make it sound is Lobia is like, right, we're going to pretend you've been killed by Lobia, just so Dr. Nuland gets off your back. But obviously, as we cut towards the end of that episode, we see Flynn wake up in a peripheral. Yeah. And this finally brings us back to that theory I've held long for a very long time now. We can transfer brains into peripherals directly with the host dead. But also, obviously they've rebooted this world now. Does that mean that Flynn in the future now is going to go to this new world? How does that work? Do they literally take the current Flynn and map their brain onto him? So I'm a bit confused how that's going to work now. Or is there going to be multiple Flynns in that one world?
Well, there could be multiple Flynns, yeah. That could be a bit of a twist, is that there's another Flynn floating around there somewhere that's going to bump into a peripheral Flynn that is not a peripheral because it's actually the consciousness of original Flynn.
The other thing I've got with that is maybe they've just transferred the data from her head into the other Flynn's head, the bacteria part. But basically, she's in the peripheral, so she's actually going to stay in the future.
So what about if she's not a peripheral? And they've transferred the data of original Flynn into the new world.
Well, that's what I assume what happened. But obviously, that last bit of credit with Lobia, I'm not sure if that's her talking to Lobia before she gets shot by Connor or after, because they've cut that scene in really weird, so I'm not sure which it is. But it sounds like some brain transferring is happening. Yeah. In which case, this means Connor's going to get his bloody legs back. But again, with that reboot though, how far back did they reboot? Because I thought I saw 2032. So that's after Connor got his legs blown off in it. Because that would have happened in 2028, wouldn't it still? Yeah. But again, it depends if they've branched off another branch that never had them originally given them the haptics. Does that mean Burton's dead in that world? Remember, Burton dies in the war and Connor doesn't.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. So Burton in this new world, Burton could be...
He might not exist, yeah.
Yeah, he might not exist. I want to know how Burton's going to take that news. Is Connor going to say, I shot your sister? Or is he going to say, is he going to go along with the story? I don't know.
I don't know what's going to happen here, but obviously
it's going to cause a bit of...
I'm not sure what happened, whether they've got the haptics in this new one or they haven't, but that's crazy. Right then. Anyway, Ben, let's talk on to one of your theories that you've held a long time here.
The reoccurring theory of Tommy being a season 2 bad guy. And do you know what? I say that because in this one, obviously in the last episode, he kills Pickett, or kills the sheriff and thinks he kills Pickett. And in this one, Pickett obviously is found to be alive still. But then when Tommy's asked, he blamed. He's like, yeah, what I mean, was Bob the Butcher.
I miss Bob the Butcher. I'm still hoping for Bob the Butcher spin-off. If you're out there, guys, Amazon, if you're out there, give us the Bob the Butcher spin-off.
The setting is a bowling scene. That's the opening credits.
He only kills people in bowling alleys.
But I think Tommy, he's deceiving now. He's lying. He's things he knows, and that comes. He's just said to his wife, and he said to the sheriff and everyone else that it wasn't me, it was Bob the Butcher, and everyone believes him, and he's going to take a bit of satisfaction. Go, okay. So what else can I get away with?
He is, but also I noticed one fatal rookie mistake.
Go on then.
Put the gun back in the bag with his handprints on it. Like, what an idiot, man! What a!
I spotted that. It was a good.
He's meant to be, meant to be a Rosa, mate, and he's put the.
But speaking of that, though, branching off from that moment, the fact that he didn't realise Pickett was still alive. If we just go to the other side of that, Pickett's obviously in some kind of coma.
Yes.
And obviously his gang or his reputation is now on the line.
I feel like they'd call it a posse, wouldn't they? They are in Texas. They're not in Texas, they're in North Carolina. But
we jumped back to our man from earlier on in the season, Mr. Mullet, as we're calling him.
Mr. Mullet.
And his friends, and you can still see the scars from his face.
Yeah, you want to say, I liked that. It was quite nice.
And they were obviously deciding on this power. And now I thought for a second that we were going to see Jasper get the pint glass,
smash it over his head.
I thought he was going to fill it first, then come back and do the same thing and go bang, and then show his move. But he didn't.
I think Jasper's not a bad guy, is he? That's the thing. I think Jasper, just because he's a bad guy, does not mean he's a bad guy. I've made the reference again. But I think Jasper's this confused kid who's almost been dragged into the life by his uncle Pickett, hasn't he? And in all fairness, Jasper should take it on because it is his uncle. So I feel like it should be there. Those guys completely laughed it off. And I like how he just drove to the train station. Is this Jasper's trick shot?
Yeah.
Get a strike.
He drove, Jasper's strike. He drove to the tracks, got out, went on about some board game with his wife, right? And she was like, listen, don't do anything stupid. And then he realised it was too late. I mean, and then obviously he leaves the keys in the car.
Oh, it was a rookie mistake, that was, wasn't it? I love the fact that I did like how he shut the door though. He pushed him. I was like, that's a man who's done that before.
Yeah, that's it. His friends die, and obviously he wakes one up before the end. And
I like how Mullet guy's like, oh, what's going on? And boom, taken clean out.
Exploded as well.
It was beautiful. And I think season 2 now with Jasper, we're gonna have this crazy turmoil where he's now essentially Pickett's in the coma. He's got rid of all of Pickett's bad guys. Yeah. Jasper could just try and live a good life again.
I feel like he's the type of guy to live with guilt.
I think he's. But I don't think
that's going to plan his mind every day.
I don't think he's going to turn into Pickett though. I think he's going to. No. Well, again, I suppose just diverging ever so slightly.
Yeah.
How much of season 2 is going to be set in that timeline, in that world? Because obviously we know now we've got a new Stub.
Yeah.
We're going to get a lot of transfers between Stubs in the future. It's going to get really bloody confusing.
It's going to get very confusing for season 2, I think.
It is.
And, speaking of all the Stubs then, Steve, what did we think about the return of young Alita?
Yeah, well, we called this a while ago.
Confirmed to be a Peripheral.
I think it had to be a Peripheral, didn't it? Because there was no way she could be young Alita. Yeah. And I think I liked with young Alita popping up, when Alita finally popped up, I noticed the scar behind her ear before anything else. I was like, oh, what's going on here then?
That's why she took out the
implants. And I was like, just like the Peripherals had happened to it. Mm-hmm. So clearly they've got this memory wiping technology. So something really bad has obviously happened for them to wipe all the memories. Obviously, I know it's clear to see like Zubov's people, the collective ruined everything. But I like the fact she's like digging that hole and pulls out a skull from it's like they're this far under the ground.
I know.
Like I feel like a bad
first space you dig.
Yeah, I feel like a bad bit of rain would have washed that skull to the surface anyway.
For me, it was the bit where she went to offer the skull to Alita, and Alita was like, I don't want it, give it to him.
And she's like, you're not going to take the skull.
Yeah. Just take the goddamn skull. Like, she got a bit aggressive at one point, but
she did. And then obviously we see the neoprim pop up.
Yeah.
And that's the first time we've seen them. And there's this group of people here. But obviously we don't really know a lot about the neoprim. They're mentioned, but when they're mentioned, it almost sounds like they're a bit of a deadly force, doesn't it? Maybe not a deadly force, but there's something that...
a force to be watched.
Yeah, something to be reckoned with. That's the word we're looking for here. And I quite like that. And obviously, I finally like that we caught up with Alita. And she hates the thumbs, doesn't she, mate? She hates the thumbs. Yeah.
Like, anything with thumbs
she hates, mate. You know what I mean? She'd hate that Cravendale advert with the cats. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. Right, and obviously, finding out that news that the collective done all that, swapping over to Dr. Nuland. Fantastic. I love the fact we saw her once again, piloting Peripherals as Finn fights them all. And I thought what was cool is with Dr. Nuland, she was able to control multiple Peripherals. So this still leads me on to that theory that she's in a Peripheral herself. And I think there's one there's one little cool thing that I noticed. I don't know if you noticed this. The earrings on Flynn's peripheral had a triangle in, and it's the same triangle. It's the exact same triangle as what is the peripheral sighting in Dr. Nuland's eyes.
Symbolic, isn't it? It's like I can control peripherals, but I can't control you.
Yeah. So, but again, I don't know if that's because that triangle is almost like a little allusion to Dr. Nuland being a peripheral.
Yeah, but everything in the series has been triangular. Like the way structures are made.
Yeah, you are right.
As well. I think that's the kind of theme, the futuristic style, I suppose, of the series is with the triangles. But I love that. It was like some underground setting, like they just gone into the Tower of London or something.
Yeah, it was like a classic London little random.
And all these peripherals standing there asleep ready. And then, it was good that she stopped in the middle of the corridor and she was like, hang on.
Yeah.
So it made me realise something's obviously gone in and she's now seeing that in her one eye.
Yeah.
Fighting these things, which means she knows how to fight, even with the peripherals, because she's controlling them.
It wasn't, I like the fact there was a mention just before this fight where Lobia gave her the direction. She was like, those peripherals are going to be as strong as you are. Which again, goes back to when I mentioned previously, she's clearly enhanced in that peripheral. There's something special about the peripherals. The peripherals are obviously enhanced because they're not human.
Well, we've established that Nuland's a peripheral anyway, because remember a couple episodes ago, obviously Flynn snapped her neck.
Yeah, well, she was in a peripheral. We established she's been in peripherals, but we don't know. We've only ever seen her in peripherals. We don't know if that is Dr. Nuland or not. And we suspect. I still think, based on the fact she can control multiple peripherals, can she control two peripherals at the same time, being one herself and one the other peripheral? But if you did notice something, when she was controlling them, she stopped. She wasn't carrying on walking. So I wonder if that is a peripheral body, like we've said previously. And we've never ever seen Dr. Nuland
walking down the road and controlling 6 peripherals with one eye and still concentrating on what you're doing. That's only a job that like Tom Cruise can pull off. Do you know what I mean? No one can do that. So I reckon that's just natural. But no, it was good. And I thought it was an epic fight scene.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do you think of that fight scene compared to all the others we've experienced? Obviously, this is a few now we've had with Flynn. We've had Bob the Butcher, doing the stabby stab. What do you think? Think it was as good as the other fight scenes?
I think the best fight scene was the butcher's shot.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Because you saw that bit of where the blood spat in the face. You saw that bit of like, oh god, you just ticked me off kind of thing. Where we didn't see that in this episode with Flynn. She beat him up. Obviously, she was almost getting a neck broke.
She did that weird flip. I did like that.
But but the fight scenes in this series have been amazing, man. They've been absolutely brilliant, top notch.
Yeah,
I love them.
Man, that is true. That's good, and I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait for episode 2. Right, so in the week, we actually had a comment on our previous video.
We did.
From Chris Fairclough, and he basically pointed out the fact that Ben over here, the nutter, said everyone's Scottish, and it turns out
the same to me.
Lubov's henchman, Ash, and the other dude, who's Irish, by the way.
Yeah,
Ben,
he's Irish.
That's clear. It was pointed out to us that one's Scottish and one's Irish.
You know what? Thanks for pointing out our mistake. I really appreciate it, and it's things like that make us progress and be a little bit better than we are, but
exactly. But thank you for
the same to me.
Yeah. Anyway, as this sounds like it's wrapping up, just like the credits started to roll in the peripheral, there's an after credit scene.
It was.
So, what did you think of that? Obviously,
well, first of all, I was watching it and I thought it's finished, and I looked at the little bar at the end and I thought
5 minutes left.
A lot left.
Yeah.
Let me just check. And bam, after credit scene, and it's Zuboff who meets his dad's friends and goes for a little bit of afternoon tea or something. And
he does, yeah. Well, he was expecting to meet his dad at first. When him and his wife walk in, his wife sees who they are, and she's like, right then, give him a kiss, I love you. Off she went.
But that threw him off a little bit, because obviously they started off first tricking him and being quite serious. And he was like kind of heckles up kind of thing, and he was ready to kind of, I'm sorry. If I did anything wrong, punish me, whatever. And then they all burst out laughing in his face.
Yeah, I did. To be honest, in that scene, in my head, I kept thinking of when Lowy was asked to kill Zuboff. Nuland, can you kill Lobov? So I fully expected sniper bullets coming through the bullet and take out the whole people there, but he didn't. And
for me, the interesting thing that happened in there was they were talking about Zuboff and saying, you need to go and kill anyone that's associated with
this incident.
Yeah. And they were saying, right, but they made a metaphor about the tree,
yes,
saying you need to chop the branches and tree the branches. And basically just chop down the whole fucking tree. But towards the start of the episode, we had Flynn and her mom were talking, and she said that her dad used to call Flynn a little acorn because you grow up into a big tree and strong.
Oh my God.
And I thought, well, hang on, that's like a direct link there. We start off with the growth of a tree, and then we're ending with the chopping down of a tree.
So do you think she's linked to the Collect then, in some way?
I think
so. Rather than being linked to Wilf and Alita, is what I originally thought.
Yeah.
You think she's linked to the Collect? Whoa,
that for me is the seasons throwing a subtle hint out there. You know what I mean, she's grown from the the acorn and stuff, and that's her dad says she's going to grow into this big massive tree, and then the guys from the Collect at the end talk about chopping down a tree, whether on about referencing chopping down fucking Flynn or what, but I reckon that does signify connection to the Collect.
Yeah, no, you saying that now, I've had a little bit of a brainwave. It does happen occasionally. This new Stub they've opened up, is their dad dead? We don't, because obviously things change in each Stub. I assume they will be, but what if he's not?
Yeah.
And what if they are linked to the Collect? I like it, like, because this new Stub opens a world of possibilities. Obviously, like the butterfly effect, one thing can change.
And having your dad come back is going to open up a world of emotions. And
but obviously, like I said, Burton might be dead in this. So I really thought. Anyway, Ben, final thoughts for yourself. What are you looking forward to in season 2? What do you want to see happen?
Tommy as the bad guy, season 2. Nope, stand by it. Nothing else. Done.
Right. I want to see Connor get a new body, get legs, and I want to see like 10 Connors. I want to see like multiple Connors from different worlds pop up, mate, to fight.
All doing trick shots of their own.
All doing trick shots of their own.
I'm on trick shot watch still.
Right. Anyway, guys, we really hope you liked this final recap and review for the Peripheral. If you did, leave a comment, let us know what you liked about it. Please subscribe and like, it helps the channel to grow. Right, and we'll catch you later.
Take care, guys.
Bye.